Have you ever felt exhausted after defending something that deeply mattered to you, only to realize the other person was never listening? If you are an INFJ, this happens more often than you think. You care deeply about truth, about fairness, about people. And because of that, you sometimes step into conflicts that drain your soul. You try to explain. You try to heal. You try to make people understand. But not every fight deserves your energy. Not every debate deserves your wisdom. And not every person deserves access to your emotional depth. One of the most powerful lessons an INFJ can learn is this: you do not have to fight every battle. In fact, your peace depends on choosing the right ones. Today we will explore why INFJs must learn to choose their battles carefully, and how this single skill can protect your energy, your mental health, and your purpose. If you are an INFJ personality type, or someone interested in personality psychology and emotional intelligence, this may change the way you interact with the world. Because sometimes the strongest move is walking away. 1. The INFJ desire to fix everything. The INFJ personality type is often called the advocate. In the world of MBTI personality types, INFJs are known for their deep empathy and powerful intuition. They see patterns others miss. They sense emotions others ignore. They often feel responsible for improving the world around them. This sounds beautiful. And it is. But it also creates a hidden burden. INFJs often feel they must step in whenever something feels wrong. A friend is being misunderstood. A coworker is being unfair. A family member is acting hurtful. And instantly the INFJ mind activates. You analyze the situation. You imagine how everyone feels. You think of ways to resolve the tension. You want peace. You want harmony. You want people to grow. But here is the quiet truth many INFJs learn later in life. Not every situation can be fixed. And not every person wants to change. For a personality type built on empathy and emotional intelligence, this realization can be painful. Because INFJs do not fight for ego. They fight for meaning. They fight for truth. They fight for people. Yet sometimes they give their energy to situations that never deserved it. 2. The cost of fighting every battle. Imagine your emotional energy as a quiet reservoir. Every conversation pulls water from it. Every conflict drains it a little more. Every time you try to explain your perspective to someone who refuses to understand, the reservoir drops. For INFJs, emotional energy is precious. You process deeply. You feel deeply. You think deeply. And because of this, conflict affects you more than it affects many other personality types. A short argument may stay in your mind for hours. A harsh comment may echo for days. A misunderstanding may replay in your thoughts long after others forget it happened. This is not weakness. This is the INFJ cognitive pattern. Your mind seeks meaning. It searches for emotional resolution. But when you fight every battle, something slowly happens. You become tired. Not just physically tired. Emotionally tired. Mentally tired. And eventually, spiritually tired. Many INFJs reach a moment in their lives where they quietly ask themselves one question: why am I always the one carrying the emotional weight? The answer is simple: because you stepped into battles that were never yours to fight. 3. The INFJ and the need to be understood. One of the deepest desires of the INFJ personality type is to be understood. You spend so much time understanding others. You read emotions. You interpret tone. You sense hidden motivations. But when it comes to your own thoughts and feelings, people often miss the depth. They hear your words, but they do not see the layers beneath them. This can create a quiet frustration inside INFJs. Because when someone misunderstands you, your instinct is to explain more. You clarify. You elaborate. You share deeper context. You try again. But here is the reality many INFJs eventually discover. Some people are not listening to understand. They are listening to respond. Or worse, they are not listening at all. In these moments, the INFJ mind tries harder. You gather better arguments. You present more thoughtful explanations. You search for the perfect words. But the problem was never your explanation. The problem was the other person's willingness to hear it. And this is where choosing your battles becomes essential. Because explaining your heart to someone committed to misunderstanding you will only drain your soul. 4. Why some battles are designed to trap INFJs. Certain types of people unconsciously pull INFJs into endless debates. These debates often look meaningful at first. They might involve morality, justice, human behavior, psychology, topics INFJs naturally care about. But slowly the conversation changes. It stops being about truth. It becomes about winning. And when that happens, the INFJ is already at a disadvantage. Because you are not trying to win. You are trying to understand. You are trying to improve the situation. You are trying to help everyone see a bigger picture. But people who seek dominance in conversations are not interested in bigger pictures. They are interested in control. And this creates a loop. They provoke. You explain. They dismiss. You clarify. They twist your words. You defend. Hours pass. Energy disappears. Peace fades. And in the end, nothing changes. This is why emotional boundaries are essential for INFJs. Not every intellectual discussion is healthy. Not every debate leads to growth. Sometimes the wisest response is silence. 5. The INFJ strength of strategic silence. Silence can feel uncomfortable for many INFJs at first. You want clarity. You want resolution. You want harmony. But strategic silence is one of the most powerful tools an INFJ can develop. Silence does not mean weakness. Silence means awareness. It means recognizing when a conversation has stopped being productive. It means understanding that your emotional energy has value. Many emotionally intelligent people reach a point where they stop arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding them. They do not stop caring. They simply stop explaining. This shift protects the INFJ's inner world. Because your intuition already tells you something important. When someone truly wants to understand you, they ask questions. When someone does not, they argue. And there is no reason to spend your life trying to convince people who never wanted to listen. 6. The INFJ mission is bigger than small conflicts. INFJs often carry a deep sense of purpose. You want your life to matter. You want your work to help others. You want your words to inspire growth. But constant small conflicts steal time from that purpose. Imagine spending hours arguing online, debating strangers, defending your intentions, correcting misunderstandings. Now imagine using that same time to create something meaningful. Writing, teaching, helping someone who is ready to grow, building something aligned with your values. The difference is enormous. INFJs thrive when their energy flows toward purpose. But endless arguments pull that energy away. That is why choosing your battles is not about avoiding conflict. It is about protecting your mission. Because your insight is rare. Your emotional intelligence is rare. And your perspective can help people who are truly ready to hear it. But that only happens when your energy is protected. 7. The hidden wisdom of walking away. Many INFJs fear walking away from conflicts. It can feel like surrender. It can feel like losing. But in reality, walking away is often the most intelligent decision. Because some battles are endless. They repeat the same patterns. The same misunderstandings. The same emotional drain. The people involved do not seek growth. They seek reaction. And when INFJs react, they give away something precious. Attention, emotion, time. When you walk away, something surprising happens. Your mind becomes quiet again. Your intuition becomes clearer. Your emotional balance returns. And suddenly you remember something important. Peace was always your natural state. It only disappeared when you tried to fix everyone else's chaos. 8. How INFJs can start choosing their battles. Learning to choose your battles is a process. It does not happen overnight. But there are small signals INFJs can watch for. First signal. The conversation repeats itself without progress. Second signal. The other person ignores your explanations. Third signal. You feel emotionally drained instead of intellectually stimulated. Fourth signal. The debate becomes personal instead of meaningful. When these signals appear, your intuition is already warning you. This situation is not worth your energy. At that moment, you have a choice. Continue the battle, or quietly step away. The more INFJs practice stepping away from unproductive conflict, the stronger their emotional boundaries become. And with stronger boundaries comes something every INFJ needs: peace, inner clarity, and the freedom to focus on what truly matters. 9. What happens when INFJs protect their energy? When INFJs stop fighting every battle, something powerful happens. Their creativity returns. Their focus sharpens. Their emotional balance improves. Instead of constantly reacting to external conflict, they begin directing their energy toward meaningful goals. Many INFJs notice that their best ideas appear in moments of quiet reflection. Not during arguments, not during stress, but during stillness, during walks, during writing, during calm thought. This is where the INFJ mind shines. Because your intuition works best in peace, not chaos. And when you protect your emotional environment, you allow your deepest strengths to emerge. Insight, empathy, vision, purpose. These qualities are the real gifts of the INFJ personality. But they only appear when your energy is protected. Closing transition. Choosing your battles does not mean becoming passive. It means becoming wise. It means recognizing that your emotional energy is a limited resource. And it means investing that resource in people and causes that truly matter. Because the truth is simple. INFJs are not meant to fight every battle. They are meant to fight the right ones. The ones that align with their purpose. The ones that change lives. The ones that create real understanding. And when an INFJ finally learns this lesson, their life becomes quieter, clearer, and far more powerful. 10. Why emotional boundaries are essential for INFJs. Many INFJs grow up without clear emotional boundaries. Not because they are weak, but because they care deeply. When someone shares pain, the INFJ heart listens. When someone struggles, the INFJ mind searches for solutions. You naturally absorb emotions. You process them. You try to heal them. This is one of the most beautiful traits of the INFJ personality. But without boundaries, empathy can become exhaustion. Imagine opening your door to every problem that passes by. At first, it feels kind. But slowly, your house fills with noise, with stress, with responsibilities that were never yours. Emotional boundaries protect your inner space. They do not stop you from caring. They simply decide how much of yourself you give. Healthy boundaries allow INFJs to stay compassionate without becoming overwhelmed. They create balance. And balance is something many INFJs spend years learning. 11. The difference between caring and carrying. Many INFJs confuse caring with carrying. Caring means offering support, listening, understanding, encouraging growth. But carrying means taking responsibility for someone else's emotions, their decisions, their healing. And that weight becomes heavy, very heavy. INFJs often stay in difficult conversations because they feel responsible for the outcome. They think, if I explain better, maybe they will understand. If I stay calm, maybe they will change. If I try harder, maybe this conflict will resolve. But growth cannot be forced. Understanding cannot be demanded. And change cannot be carried by one person alone. At some point, INFJs must release what was never theirs to hold. You can care about someone without carrying their emotional burden. This realization changes everything. 12. The INFJ intuition already knows. INFJs have powerful intuition. It is often described as introverted intuition, one of the defining traits of the INFJ personality type. This intuition quietly reads situations. It senses patterns. It detects emotional intentions. Many INFJs feel something is wrong in a conversation long before it becomes obvious. A subtle tone, a defensive reaction, a refusal to consider new ideas. Your intuition notices these signals early, but many INFJs ignore them because they hope the conversation will improve. They hope the misunderstanding will clear. They hope the other person will open their mind. Sometimes that hope is correct, but sometimes your intuition was already right. The conversation was never meant to grow. Learning to trust your intuition helps INFJs choose their battles wisely. If something feels like an endless argument before it even begins, your mind is sending a message. Listen to it. Your intuition is not trying to make you avoid people. It is trying to protect your peace. 13. Not everyone deserves your explanation. This lesson is difficult for many INFJs. You value honesty. You value communication. You value understanding. So when someone misjudges your intentions, your instinct is to explain. You clarify your words. You explain your motives. You add deeper context. But sometimes the other person does not want explanation. They want confirmation of their belief. No matter what you say, they will twist it. No matter how calmly you speak, they will misinterpret it. No matter how clear your intentions are, they will question them. At that point, explaining becomes a trap. The more you explain, the more energy disappears. This is why many emotionally intelligent people adopt a simple rule. They stop explaining themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. Not out of anger, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. Your character is not defined by every opinion someone forms about you. Sometimes the most peaceful response is letting people keep their assumptions. 14. The INFJ door slam and what it teaches. Many people talk about something called the INFJ door slam. In personality psychology, this refers to the moment when an INFJ completely cuts emotional ties with someone who has repeatedly hurt them. It often surprises others. Because INFJs are patient. Very patient. They forgive. They listen. They try to repair the relationship many times. But once their emotional limit is reached, the door closes. Completely. No more explanations. No more arguments. No more attempts to fix the connection. This moment is often misunderstood. But the door slam is not about revenge. It is about self-preservation. It happens when an INFJ realizes their emotional energy has been drained too many times. Learning to choose your battles early can prevent this extreme step. Instead of reaching a breaking point, INFJs can step away from unhealthy conflicts sooner. This protects relationships that are still healthy. And it protects the INFJ from deep emotional burnout. 15. The power of quiet confidence. As INFJs mature, something subtle begins to change. They become quieter. Not weaker. Not withdrawn. Just calmer. They stop reacting to every disagreement. They stop explaining every decision. They stop defending every belief. Instead, they develop quiet confidence. This confidence does not shout. It does not argue endlessly. It simply stands firm. When someone challenges their values, INFJs no longer feel the need to prove everything, because they already know who they are. And when you know who you are, not every opinion requires a response. This shift creates incredible emotional stability. Arguments lose their power. Criticism becomes easier to process. And the INFJ's inner world becomes peaceful again. 16. Where INFJs should invest their energy. Choosing your battles does not mean avoiding all conflict. Some battles matter deeply. Some conversations create growth. Some moments require courage. The key is directing your energy toward meaningful places. Invest your energy in people who listen, people who reflect, people who are willing to grow. These conversations feel different. They feel calm, curious, respectful. Even when disagreements appear, both sides remain open. That is where INFJs thrive. These are the discussions that expand understanding. These are the relationships that nurture emotional health. And these are the spaces where INFJ insight becomes powerful. 17. Protecting your mental health as an INFJ. Mental health is essential for every personality type. But INFJs experience emotional intensity in unique ways. Because you process deeply, emotional conflict can linger longer in your mind. This makes protecting your mental environment extremely important. Constant arguments, toxic discussions, negative energy. These slowly affect your emotional state. But when INFJs limit unnecessary conflict, their mental clarity returns. They sleep better. They think more clearly. They feel more emotionally balanced. Peaceful environments allow the INFJ brain to recharge. And once recharged, your creativity and empathy become stronger again. 18. The strength of letting go. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. Some conversations will never resolve. Some people will never understand your perspective. Some arguments will repeat forever. Recognizing this truth is freeing. Instead of fighting endless battles, you can redirect your focus toward growth, toward creativity, toward meaningful relationships. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying conflicts that do not belong to you. INFJs often discover that the moment they release unnecessary battles, their entire emotional world becomes calmer. And in that calm, something powerful emerges. Clarity. 19. What true strength looks like for INFJs. True strength for INFJs is not constant debate. It is not endless explanation. It is not proving yourself to everyone. True strength is emotional discipline. It is knowing when to speak, and when silence is wiser. It is knowing when to stand firm, and when to walk away. It is knowing when a battle protects your values, and when a battle only drains your soul. This awareness creates balance. And balance allows INFJs to live with purpose. Because your mission was never to fight everyone. Your mission is to inspire understanding where it is possible. If you are an INFJ, your mind is powerful. Your empathy is rare. Your intuition sees layers many people overlook. But your emotional energy is limited. And protecting it is not selfish. It is necessary. The world does not need an exhausted INFJ. The world needs a focused one. A peaceful one. A thoughtful one. Someone who directs their wisdom toward meaningful change. So the next time you feel pulled into a conflict, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a simple question. Is this battle worth my peace? If the answer is yes, stand firm. Speak with clarity. Protect what matters. But if the answer is no, allow yourself to step away. Not every battle deserves your voice. And the strongest INFJs understand something many people learn too late. Peace is not found by winning every argument. Peace is found by choosing the right ones.